We've been talking about ignorance and how Satan attacks us and how he get his biggest revenge, or his biggest, not revenge, his biggest victory from us being ignorant to his devices. So we are talking on another level of that today. We're going to talk about how it's so important that you value yourself. Satan will try to suck all the self-worth out of you that he possibly can, because he don't want you to be successful. He don't want you to evolve and to become more than you are today. There are things that we cannot ignore. There are things that we cannot ignore. One of those things that we cannot ignore is the fact that the enemy wants us to be relaxed, want us to not stand on the promises of God. He wants us to flow with everything that sounds kosher from the mind, and don't want you to tap into your inner spirit for reasoning. Most people in our society today, they are all about what makes sense to them. If it makes sense to them, they are going with the program. If it doesn't make sense with them, they will debate it, or they will be in limbo. But at the same time, that a firm commitment or decision is never made. The enemy has distorted, and we know that he is a deceiver. He is cunning. He is a liar. He is the father of lies. And the main thing that the enemy is trying to do to discredit you or devalue you in this last day is to make you blind to the truth of his word. And in doing that, he began his big attacks. His first attack is on the family. Satan doesn't like the family in the origin that God has created them to be. So what he's trying to do now, he's trying to recreate it. God created family, man, woman, children. Satan said family can be man, man, woman, woman, dog, children. He comes in to take away and to try to cause us to see things differently from the original plan. We all say, well, I just want to be happy. I just want to do my thing. I don't bother nobody. And I don't want nobody to bother me. We heard that before. Those talk are not from your spirit. Those kind of talk does not come from your inner spirit of God. It comes from your human conscience. It comes from the flesh. The flesh do mind the things of the flesh. However you see yourself to be, that is how you're going to perform in this society. We don't even value, we just go along with the program of life because we don't think we make a difference. We don't think we are valuable enough to make a difference. Even though we saw in the scripture last week and the week before how God knew us, He knitted us in our mother's womb. He helped us to develop. He put His life in us. He put His love in us. He put His faith in us, like a grain of mustard seed and all those things. But we still yet don't see ourselves to be valuable enough to make a difference. And if we don't see ourselves to be valuable enough, we can't sell ourselves to anybody to make a difference, like Prophet was just praying a few minutes ago. And I had an opportunity to see the hand of God move again in confirmation, because everything that Prophet prayed today, everything that Sister Erica prayed today, you're going to see come out right here in this message. Amen. But that's how God works. We don't want nothing more than we have because we are afraid it will change us. And we don't love changes. We don't like to be stretched. We don't like to be enlarged. Anybody like to be fat? No. You remember how you used to be slim, trim, all up to 40? And after 40 it began to change. And we put most of our time into working on trying to get back to where we was when we were 20, 30, and 20. Satan deceived us even in that area, because what we fail to understand that we grow. And the older we get, we change. Somebody asked me, well, if we change, why don't you let your beard grow and be white and all this? Ain't got nothing to do with me accepting my growth. I just like what I look like. When I get tired of changing and fashions and things like that, it'll be, when it's all come down to the end of the day, I'm going to still be the age I am. And there's nothing to change that, because I'm grateful that I've been here this long. Amen. But see, Satan tried to get us to be depressed with ourselves. I remember conversations that my grandmother used to have with me, and I hear things that she used to say to other people, and people would say, oh, Kashua, man, I'm so fat. And my grandmother would say, ain't nothing wrong with you being fat. Then you don't worry about that fat on you. If you ever take sick and go down, when you get back up, you'll be the right size. So then the meat on you might be for a reason, because God knows your future. And you may encourage something that is going to take you some time to recover from and you can't eat. But guess what? When you get back up, you'll be just like you used to be. Amen. 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 The only thing I'm saying is Satan get us off track to worry about things that we shouldn't have to be worried about. Amen. The Bible tells us that I once was young, but now I'm old. But what? I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. But we was once young, and we still try to stay young. We don't want to embrace being old. But being old and having a testimony to tell somebody else about it is a blessing. Every time, if I want to go overboard with the youth thing, I just look at Courtney, Victoria, Ron, and CJ, and listen, I can't outdo them. How I'm going to try to look younger than them? Because I've been here before them. in their natural state, so what am I saying to you? God is allowing us to develop. God is allowing us knowledge and wisdom and understanding about who we are and how valuable we are. What do we have to give to society? If we have anything worthwhile to give, we got to know it's a gift, and if it's a gift, we have to cultivate that gift. If you say I'm valuable to society, people are going to expect something greater than what they see. Everybody's pretty much average. Or if you got some lower than that, and that's some, because of their faults and culture and circumstances and stuff like that. But God has ordained us to be great, and we have a purpose to fulfill our full potential. And everything that God has already given us pertaining to that, life and godliness, is already in us. We saw last week that the Bible said when we were knitted in our mother's womb and put together carefully in our mother's womb, we had everything that we needed right then. Now, everything that we have now needs to be cultivated, nourished. We need to practice it. We need to be aware of it so we can evolve. In order for us to grow, we got to be in the right environment. If you plant a seed in an environment that is not conducive for that, whatever you're planting to grow, the seed will die. It'll come out the ground, but if it's too hot, the sun will kill it. If it's too cold, the frost and the snow and the ice will kill it. And so many times we try to fight against what God is doing in us, and we are in the wrong places trying to grow. We got to get into the right environment to grow. Family is and when you think about family was the first institution that God ever created. God created the family before he created the government, before religion. It was family. So what do the enemy comes at you strongly first? Family. If he can get the family to be weakened, he can get the family to be divided, if he can get the family to be at war against each other, all the other things don't even matter because you're going to be too weak to fight anything else. The thing that stir your emotion the most if somebody mess with your family. I'm all the way in South Carolina, but somebody say CJ is up there in trouble and somebody tried to do something to him. Oh, I'm getting a plane ticket. I might can't fight or do anything, but I'm going to get that plane ticket and I'm going to at least be in the environment. If he's going down, I'm going down right with him.
That's right.
Because the enemy will try to come against you to attack the family.
Yes. Yes.
If he can get the husband and the wife be at odds against each other, the children is having a field day.
That's true.
If he can get the children to cut up, that's going to put a lot of stress on the husband and the wife, and there's a problem. Somebody called for help in ministry. Somebody out here need our help. And we say, well, I called on you because you're a man of God, a children of God. Well, I can't do it right now. See, what we forget and what Satan cause us to forget is that the things that we do for God is not by power nor by might, but it's by the Spirit of God.
Amen.
Yes.
But he wants us to forget that and focus on the things that is attached to our emotion. This is my seed. This is my son. This is my daughter. This is my granddaughter, my grandson. So anybody step over these bounds, you got a problem with me. I don't care about, hey, you know some people say, I lay my religion down. If that's all you got, then you ain't got nothing. If you can lay it down and pick it up and all that when you get ready, you got a problem. Because the Spirit of God, when he comes into you to stay, he wants to stay forever. This is your ticket from earth to heaven. The minute I lay it down, my name might be called. Then what? I'll have my ticket to go where I need to go. We have to be careful about that. Family is the only institution that God has produced to lead or to keep our future generation healthy and moving. Government will change. Religion will change. Philosophies and all that will change. That's why the Bible said we need to invest in the family. We need to invest in our children. We need to invest in our grandchildren. We need to invest in our great-grandchildren so that the blessing can fall all the way down to the third and fourth generation. We are in a generation now where sickness and control, and you talk to your grandchildren and your children about God, and they don't want to hear it. And sometimes we are guilty for not pushing the issue. But they don't want to hear nothing with God, so I ain't going to talk about it. I ain't worry myself. I'm just going to pray in God and keep myself right with God. Man, you got problems. Because you don't have a ministry. You don't have a purpose. You have forgotten your purpose. The school, the colleges and the schools were never designed to raise your family and give them the values and stuff that you need for life. We put so much responsibility on daycares, in schools, public schools, and private schools, and boarding schools to raise our children. While we kick back and just occupy a job and have no worries. We get to the point now where we don't even want to help our children with their homework. Mama, help me with my homework. Why did you ask the teacher? Why you did it before you came from school? But we expect for our children and the family to be strong, the family to be rich. If you teach your children at home, and if you instill the values in your children at home, regardless of what the government and what the school districts and all of that put out for your children, guess what? Values at home will override. Your children may adhere to instruction and what they are actually saying to you, but they honor you as a first source of leadership. And that's why you hear even children come to school and say, well, my mom and my daddy said this, and my mom and daddy said that, even though you might try to tell them the truth based on knowledge, but their emotion and their mindset is fixed on what mom and dad have said. Mom and dad could be dead wrong, but they believe it. So it's important that we train our children from home. Keep the family unit. The government was never created to instill good morals into us. The government was never designed for you to tap into your greatness and to be valuable and appreciated and get your full potentials. Wow. Well, what was the government was created for? The government is always looking out for themselves. As long as you pretty much work on a job, you never fulfill your full potentials. The Chinese and the Indians, they got that concept better than us. They come over to America, they ain't coming to look for no job. They coming to create jobs to get your money. They come over here to make money, to be their own boss, their own institution. But the government trained us, which is a part of Satan. You are not no valuable enough to go to school, go to college, then go find a job. Why not go to college, get your education, and go create jobs? You be the person in control. You valuable enough. When you begin to understand how valuable you are to God, how valuable you are to society, and what God has purposely put you here and designed you for to be, your mindset will begin to enlarge and you'll begin to see things differently. You'll begin to see the self-worth that is in you that no one else can see, and then you begin to market that which is in you. What does God call you to do? What did you really want to be doing? And when you figure out what you really want to be doing, what are you doing to market that in your own life? Because unless you fully persuaded in your own mind about who you are and what you are called here to do, nobody else is going to see no worth in it. Years ago when I got saved and I was in the ministry in other churches and I've been serving in other churches, the whole time I was there, I knew that there was something in me that God has placed in me that it was just being smothered in other churches. So I began to exercise the gifts that God put in me for love for people, to share, to help, to see people, to encourage people, to bring out the full potentials in people. And God began to show me that, and people began to see that, wow, this guy has the ability to, you can walk in a room and you can feel so bad, but you get a conversation with him and you walk out feeling good. Can everybody do that? No. But when you are fully persuaded in your own self that God has put or placed that in you to be able to give back out to someone, people grab onto those things and they hold on to it and they go for the ride. We are to be careful in these last days who we put our gifts and talents and all of that out to, because Satan will use people to try to capture that and try to destroy it in us before we even get it up off the ground. You say, I'm starting my own business, okay? 3 months down the road, you see the person again. How's your business going? Oh, I'm not in that business anymore. There's a problem. What's the problem? Oh, I don't think it was for me. So did you get started because it was somebody else's vision? Or you got it started because it was something that God put in you? See, when we go on other people's ideas and we let other people try to define us, we sometimes fall short. People use us for their purpose. When they reach a goal, they leave you behind. And you say, man, I was with this company ever since it got started. Now they want to let me go. You're not valuable anymore. You really probably never was a value. You was a help. If we want to have a strong nation, we need to have a strong family. What comes with a strong family? Values, gifts, inner potentials. So you tell your children, it doesn't matter what you do or what you run into, that you are going to make it. We got to continue to tell ourselves, you got the mind of Christ, you can make it. There is nothing that's too hard for God. There's not too hard that you can't do. Why? Because you have the mind of Christ. It's so important. If you want to be wise, stop listening to Satan. If you want to be really wise, don't listen to what the devil has to say to you. But listen and pay attention to what God's word has to say to you. Do not let people define you. You know why? Because the things that God has put in you, your mom, your dad, other people sometimes can't see it. Sometimes there are hidden secrets in you that they don't see. Only the Spirit of God. Remember last week? Only the Spirit of God can reveal those things to you. Eyes have not heard. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. The things that God has for you. So if if somebody's eyes can't see it, and somebody's ears can't hear it, and only the Spirit knows it, that means we got to be in a position, in the right environment to hear it. We're always in the wrong environment, and we expect the impossible to take place, and we don't get it because we're not listening. Amen. Things are too crowded. That's why you don't need to have a noisy and a crowded life. Find some peace and tranquility somewhere so God can speak to you so that you can know your value. The devil's not going to tell you you're worth anything. He's here to tear you down. You will never succeed until you change and become wise. You will never succeed or find success or value about you until you become wise. Most people seek after success. You don't have to seek after success. Success follows you. Some people put most their energy into trying to be successful. You don't have to do that. Success will follow you. If you must seek to become a person of value. If you are a person of value, success will seek you. Let me give you an example in my own little life. I'm good. I got some little gifts here and there. Gifts of making bracelets and stuff. In fact, I did a shipment for 60-something this week to different places for different people. And during my spare time, I got a gift for making flower arrangements and stuff. So people see a couple of them and they see it and they display the funerals and weddings and different things. People say, who did that flower arrangement? Who put together that? Who did that? And I said, I did it. Or somebody said, Kevin did it, Mr. Nelson did it, Pastor Nelson did it, whatever. And then next thing I know, people calling me up and say, can you make me so and so? I'll pay you whatever you want to pay. And if I make a decision to do it for them, my creative mind began to go into effect, and my will to do a great and excellent job, so it could be, so other people can see the beauty of that. That opened the door for more success. A person of value shares their skills. A person of value, or a person who is valuable, they share their skills. I don't have to worry about somebody else taking my idea or taking my gift or my talent to do something and I'm in competition with them. I don't care. This world is big enough for all of us. Because what somebody may see to be beautiful in your work, and they might see my work to be greater. And it may look the same way. You're just putting the right lead up instead of down. Because beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. The beholder. But we say we are valuable, but we don't spend time concentrating on who we are. We don't even know our self-worth. Satan has robbed that from us. He has stole time from us. We want to be great, but we don't want to put it into work. Study to show yourself approved unto God, workmen be not ashamed, but rightfully dividing the word of spirit and in truth. If I go to the dentist to get my tooth work on, and I see that dentist and he started messing up in my mouth, and I asked him where you went to school at, he said, Midland Tech. I don't know if I want you. How many dentistry you worked in? This is my first. I don't think I want you in my mouth, especially if you have a needle. See, if a person is called to be a doctor, that person have built himself to a place where he is comfortable with himself, he is valuable, and he can bring something to the table, so he goes and he spends time learning and researching what it is to make him great. He goes to the best schools, he goes to the best clinics, he works for the best doctors that have a good track record to train him to be able to bring what he's going to do for the future and make it better than it ever was existed before. What made Jesus valuable to us? He has the skill of salvation. When you want to be saved, you go to Jesus. You don't go to the devil. You don't go to the palm reader. You don't go to the musician. When you want to be saved, you go to Jesus. Jesus says, come unto me, you who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest for your weary souls. Amen. Why he is in a position to do that? because he has mastered that. He knows who he are. He's valuable. He has been proven, and there is none like him. So what makes people come to you? Your value, your self-worth. If you don't know what you're doing, and people come to you to patronize what you're trying to do, you're going to fail. You have to be enthusiastic about it. Right now, if somebody come in this church and everybody in the church is on an off day, don't feel like being bothered, they got their own agendas, they don't want to show love, don't want to show the fruits of the Spirit, don't want to befriend a visitor or a stranger. The stranger come in and everybody just kind of walk by them and they barely say hi to the people they see every Sunday. They just want to be accounted that I've been to church today and I'm going back home and I'm going back in my little world and I don't want to be bothered. As a leader and as a church administrator, I'm watching it flow. And I'm seeing this is not how we act. I'm looking at it saying this is not what we're supposed to be doing. So when that visitor walks out the door and everybody else is up on their off game, it makes my work double hard. Because I'm going to walk right by everybody who having a bad day, and I'm going to try to get to the back door to catch that visitor and show him some love or what's the value that is in me. I'm going to walk through that door and I'm going to run them down if I got to take them home, and I'm going to talk to them about their life and what we have to offer. I'm not going to allow what you don't want to do to cause other people to turn away. One day you're on, one day you're off. One Sunday you come to church, you're 40. Next Sunday you come to church, you're 10. Every now and then, maybe Thanksgiving and Christmas, you're 75. And that's not being motivated by God. That's being motivated by things. We got to see who we are. Oh, I woke up this morning, I didn't feel too good. I don't know if I'm going to church or not. I guess I drag in there and drag out. Stay home. Because the strong supposed to bear the infirmities of the weak. If somebody else is being challenged, they should be excited to come to church because they know they're going to get encouragement, they know they're going to get hugs, they know they're going to get the truth. That's enough right there why they should be able to come out and celebrate. But if they're coming in and they come with nothing and they go back with nothing, it's going to make it even difficult to come the next time. And that's what Satan wants. Satan wants you to be discouraged. Satan wants you to sit down and distract you and show you everything except the truth. You can be sitting in a church and be sitting down and not be here. Charles, Cheryl, Sherry, Linda, Courtney, some people will know what I'm saying when I say that. Some you can be sitting in a church and you can see the demon running out through the walls on wood. Why are you here? How can I become more valuable? You must refine, somebody say refine. You must refine your uniqueness. What are you unique in doing? What is unique about you? See, Satan want to steal that from you. He don't want you to know. He doesn't want you to know that there's something unique about you. There's a lot of young people that I meet for the first time, or they meet me for the first time. A lot of them come here with other people, and they meet me, and they watch me, they study me, and they see something very unique about me. They don't know what it is, they don't know how to put their hands on it because of their lack of knowledge. And sometimes, sad to say, when they see something, they misjudge it for the wrong reason. And they start pursuing after things that is not really there. Because they got twisted up, misconstrued. Satan deceived them. But you need to understand, you need to know what is unique about you. Because when you can discover what is unique about you, that's where your value system is going to begin to be strengthened, and that's where you're going to feel good about God, you're going to feel good about yourself, you're going to feel good about your family, you're going to feel good about the church family, and you'll be able to do something for God regardless of what anybody will have to say. Hallelujah. So you must refine your uniqueness. How do we do that, Pastor? We need to make your skill valuable to the world. Make it valuable to the world. Well, the world starts off in your house. Then the world spreads a little bigger to your community. Then your world expands to West Columbia. Then your world expands to Orangeburg. Then your world expands to Charleston. Then your world expands to Savannah and down Florida. Now you may be very unique in what you're doing, and you may got money, and you may got broadcast, you may got internet, you may have YouTube, a YouTube blog or blog, whatever the thing called, and you are now going worldwide. Your uniqueness is now being seen, heard by the world. There is so much airtime is being spent in this world with foolishness. People got blogs about dating, blogs about dating same sex, blogs about this and that, and you got followers. You got 1 million followers, 100,000 followers. Those people that are following those foolishness, how many of them can follow you? What is your uniqueness? What can I do to make somebody follow me? Make sure your skill, make your skill valuable to the world. You must stay on track. The reason people don't follow you all the way through because you wishy-washy. You introduce something to the world this year, next year it's done. What me? You introduce something this year, and next year you're not in it no more. And that's why you're never going to become rich, or never become wealthy, or never become out of your poverty. And we know Satan dwells in making you poor. The less you have, the more depressed you're going to be. What is your significance? What is significant about you that attract you to other people? I would like for you to discover that. I know mine. And people who hang out with me, not a lot of people, just a few, and count on one hand. When they hang out with me, sometimes they get aggravated. They're like, why everybody was coming up to you and laughing and grinning at you on their face? I know my significance. I know what I'm valuable for. I know who I am, and I know how far to go. Hello? When you don't know, that's when you're in trouble. When you go expecting the unexpected, that's when you're in trouble. We got to train people to walk in the fruits of the Spirit, and that will help draw others to God. So how do I do that? How would I do that? I do it by demonstrating it first in me. I do it by reaching out to people who I see that needs love, that needs hope, that needs somebody to lift them up. We say we know all of this, but how much of it are we actually doing on a daily basis? Who else are we training to walk after the Spirit of God and to develop and to train them to recognize Jesus in all his characteristics and faith? Because it'll lead you right back to the cross. Think about it. Think about how you act. Think about how you act. How you act is what people sees. And people are associating that to your character. But I don't act like that all the time. You don't need to be acting like that none of the time. You're redeemed. When I walk out my house, I need to get it together because I'm on display. I am a living testament of who Jesus is supposed to be. The world don't want to hear my struggles. The world don't want to hear where I failed. The world don't want to hear that I can barely get out of bed this morning. The world is looking for hope because they are experiencing the same thing you is experiencing. But the unique thing about it is you have surpassed that. You have come, you know how to go beyond your physical and tap into your spiritual. Amen. You know how to walk by faith and not by sight. You know how to call those things be. Charlie, always get stuck with that. Say it.
Those things that are not as though they were.
As though they were. You need to be able to look at a dying situation and say, these bones shall live again. You should be able to whisper in somebody's ears that just got diagnosed and with terminal illnesses and say, all sickness is not unto death. Amen. You have to be able to rise up from where you are and to be that unique person. If you are not unique, you won't be valuable to nobody. I'm going to say it one more time. If you are not unique in some ways, you are not going to be valuable to anybody. And nobody wants an average person. If I'm average, I can live by myself. If you're not bringing nothing else to the table except what I can put out to, I don't need you. If you ain't got no skills, hallelujah. What I need with you. You can find ways of taking care of yourself. Getting your mind right. If you are not unique, you won't be valuable to anybody else. So we got to find your gift. Find your gift and refine that gift in your life. Don't let Satan steal it from you. There are some people that work with you. You got a gift that they don't have, and they see it. And they'll always try to find fault with you. You write a report. And that report, you email it to 3 people. You did an excellent job on the report. The content in the report describes, explore, and it brings out the work in its fullness. But you got somebody who is jealous of what you have done, and they find little words like and off and a comma need to be here and a thing. I don't care what you pick and choose from grammar and all of that. The main thoughts and purposes in there. That's when you know where your enemy hides behind and try to destroy you at. And guess what you do? Because you're unique in your own way, you are not threatened by that. You just take it, you receive it by the word of God, by the Spirit of God, and you refine it so you can have nothing for them to complain about. Sometimes it takes a little bit more work and time, but guess what? It'll benefit you in the future. Because guess why they are threatened by you? Because their job is on the line. Most of the time. I want to tell you something that the enemy is not going to tell you. No one came to the earth empty. No one came to this earth empty. God put something in all of us that we can give back to the world. You may not discover it yet. You may not understand it yet. You don't know the intrinsic value of it yet. But God did not bring you here empty. There's something about you. The reason why we don't know what God called us to do, what we don't understand what God wants us to do, is because we are hanging out around people. We are in the wrong culture. We're in the wrong atmosphere. We are not in a place where God gift in us can bloom and grow and be received. We hanging out with weeds and thorns, Reverend Thompson. We are in the wrong atmosphere. The weeds and the thistles and all those things grow faster than the seed. We expect to be in an environment to give God praise, and we expect to be in an environment where we go to church and we tell people we go to church, but that's all we do. Show them some benefit. Give them some uniqueness about why you do what you do and where you go and how you display that thing. No one come into this world empty. Our culture helps to find us a job. Hear what I'm saying? When you don't know what you're called to do, the culture we live in helps you find a job. Guess what the job do? Keep you depressed, Erica. That's what it does. Our culture helps you find a job. See, you can't grow beyond your full potentials. Go to Harvard, get a good education, and you can get a job with this company, that company, and that company. What about go to Harvard, get a job, and work for yourself? Amen. There are some unique things that I learned along the way that I can work for myself. Regardless of if every income that I have stopped today, my lifestyle will not change because I got enough uniqueness, I got enough talents to begin to open my hands, and I can use, praise God, I can use this building for a workshop, and I can make more money than I'm making now. If I want to, I won't be hungry. Because God has put something in me that I won't have to walk the street. I don't have to be hungry. I know how to capitalize. I know how to call people to follow me. I know how to do that thing. It's not about me. God put it there. God give us unique things. Let me tell you something. I'm not going to tell you anything. I want you to repeat something with me. I want you to say, my job, is not my skill, nor gift. My job, is something that the system, gives me, to minimize me. Your job is not your skill, and it's not your gift. Unless you work for yourself. Then you getting all that. You're putting all that in, and it's working for you. Most people who want to do or become do something great, they have to leave their jobs. I think I'm talking to somebody today. Anybody who wants to do something great or become more successful in what they're doing, they have to leave where they're at and open up their own, so that their skills, their gifts, and their self-value worth will begin to shine. The system is designed to make you a normal person. Anybody here's a normal person? If you're in here and you're normal, you're not supposed to be. The last time I checked, the Bible said you are unique. The last time I checked, the Bible said you are wonderful and fearfully made. Amen. The last time I checked, the Bible said you are the head and not the tail. Amen. The last time I checked, the Bible said that you can pull down strongholds in the dark systems of Satan. And if you're normal, you can't do that. You are not normal. You're not a normal person. And the system is designed to make you a normal person. Oh, he's just a normal person. He goes to work and go home and take care of his children, and he goes to church and fall asleep and then come back to work next week. He's just a normal person. We try so hard to fit in. We try so hard to fit in until we never, Sister Barbara, are able to stand out. We try so hard to fit in with everybody else and what they want us to become and what they want us to do, but we never have a time to stand out to be us. No one never gets to see us, our gifts and our value and our talents, because we are just normal. And we adopt the mentality, I'm going to this work, I'm just not going to do all that work, I'm just going to do my part, and I'm not going to do no more than I'm supposed to do, and I'm getting clock out and I'm going home. You're a normal person. Because the Bible says, oh, my time is up. The Bible said, all that you do it highly as unto the Lord, and your exaltation and your praise and all that will come from Him. So, and when He began to say, welcome, and I appreciate what you did, and I'm going to bless you for it, it brings you out of normalcy into a unique status. Now you're standing out. You are not trying to fit in, you are standing out. Oh, Lord Jesus, in the service 6 o'clock this evening, let me finish this. I'm just kidding. We'll continue on you, but let me leave with this point. We try so hard to fit in, and we never stand out. What I'm going to talk about next time is how do we declare our independency from the system? How do we declare our independency from the system? How do we get out of the system where people put us in so we can just be normal? And how do we catapult into the future where God wants us to walk in the Spirit so we won't fulfill the lust of the flesh? When will we be able to lay hands on the sick and the sick shall recover? When shall we be able to speak the oracles of God? When is our young daughters and our sons will begin to prophesy? When, God? We are not a normal church. We're not supposed to be. But yet, it's something that the enemy has attacked our mind with that stagnates us. He said, don't rock the boat. You want to be normal. Because if you don't act normal, they'll think you cuckoo. And if you cuckoo, they're going to haul you away. And when you get in the environment with the other cuckoos, then you're going to be double cuckoo. Because we even lost our power. We don't want to bind and loose nothing no more. I'm going to close with the last statement. God bless you today. I'm going to close with this last statement. Catch this. We were made by God to make an impact. And not an impression. We were made by God to make an impact and not an impression. Today, if you're in our services today, and there is something that you heard or something that you understand clear today that you didn't understand before you came here today, and you want to make it right with God, you want to make it right, begin to refine your salvation today. Begin to go back and say, I'm tired of being normal. I started out normal, but I'm not going to end up normal. There is some significance about me. There's some unique things about me. There is some treasures in me. There are some gifts in me. Put me in the right environment in my mind first. That those things can begin to come out so that I can make an impact and not an impression.